Once again, this is Inside the Game with Sharp and Stu. We got a special guest on the cast today, Mr. Mo Whitfield. Some may say the notorious Mo Whitfield. You making a lot of buzz on these cyber streets. What's going on, man?
Man, I ain't making no real noise, man. I'm just telling the truth, man. I'm telling the truth. They don't like to hear the truth. The truth hurts.
Fact.
They don't like hearing the truth.
Okay. Sometimes the truth hurts, but sometimes you be telling your truth and not the truth.
I'm saying my truth is the truth to me, though. So
facts. Okay. Now,
what we're trying to do is bring real stuff to people out here that's in the sports world. So we want to make sure everybody know who you are, because everybody don't know. Make sure you got, for us, the resume that you have speaks enough for us, to value your opinion. You know what I mean? Because on social media, people say, well, who is this? Who is that? You know what I mean? So I want people to make sure they know who you are. I know who you are. I was a fan of yours. I like how you played. We played together off sometimes in the summertime. I respected you. And I love your high school coach to death, because he introduced my brother to basketball, and that's how I got into basketball. So that's what we really need to. We need to let everybody know who you are. So, can you just break that down real fast, man?
Yeah, I play. Like you said, I played high school basketball for Richard Yankovic at Diamonds, the famous Mustangs. Then after I left there, I spent the year at Mariner. Then I transferred to Gloucester County.
Right.
After we won a little JUCO championship at Gloucester County, went undefeated. Me and Mark Stinson, Derek Millhouse was on that team. And then I transferred out to Norfolk State, went to a D2 Final Four, won the CIAAs when I was out there. And after I left Norfolk State, I had a little pro European career, played in Czech Republic.
No, we don't say no little stuff. We don't say no little stuff around here. We ain't saying no little, man. That's big time, man. You was in Europe, man. You got paid for it, baby. You know what I mean? I read up on you, Mo. You want some chips? You want some chips? Come on, man.
They're dying to get over to Europe right now. So,
right.
Yeah, tell us about that.
Yeah, I was, like I said, I spent 6 years in the Czech Republic. I played in Russia, Greece, Dominican Republic, Bolivia. I've been a few places over there with teams, but as I was telling you earlier, when you play when we play them European, you travel everywhere.
Right.
So I done been to France, I done been to Spain, I've been to Germany,
right,
Belgium,
right,
Kosovo, Croatia. Like I played in Croatia. I did a year in Croatia, so I done played a few places, and that basketball stuff, man, I done seen the world, man. I appreciate the game, what the game did for me.
It's a beautiful thing, man, to be able to travel the world and get paid to do it, George.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you this, Mo.
Yeah.
So, how would you describe, knowing everything you just said, all the places you've been, how would you describe your love of the game of basketball?
Oh, I love the game of basketball, man. I miss it. Like as today, as I'm watching the game, I'm thinking what I could do, what I should have did. Like I love the game. I love being around the basketball. I enjoy watching it. I enjoy playing it. Every time I'm not playing it, I'm missing it. Like I really miss it. I really enjoy it. Like I'm appreciative of where it took me to, coming from North Philly. Coming from North Philly and not starting basketball league. Because I got in. Let me see. My first official time playing under the whistle was the 11th grade. Like before the 11th grade, I never played AAU. I never played all that. So I got cut in the 11th grade. I went home and cried. I didn't know what it was. I was crushed. So my 12th grade year was my first official year playing with a team.
Wow.
Playing on the high school team, so 11th grade I played JV, 12th grade was my first year varsity, and I just ran with it from there. But like I said, I had the love for the game. Like I slept. All I did was play basketball.
Right.
Woke up early in the morning, worked out, waited for everybody to come outside. Played ball, you know how that is. Played ball, had my ball sneaks on, and was just ready for the games. Going from gym to gym, from hood to hood.
You was a basketball soldier, as they say. As I tell some young boys, man, like you going from where it's like, man, you got to fight for everything. You got to fight for everything.
Me and Kaida, y'all know Kaida, right? Kaida Williams.
Right.
That was my homie, man. We used to walk the whole stuff. We used to walk take a basketball. We walking from 27th and Allegheny up to LaSalle. From LaSalle, we was chasing the games, man.
But you know what's interesting about that, man? It's such a different era. These young boys don't know nothing about that, man. Like just walking somewhere, playing anywhere, playing on any court, just whoever's there, let's check it up. These young boys don't know about that.
Listen, I deal with it now, Mo, and hearing you say what you said about walking, whatever many blocks it was just to go find a game. I talked to the high school kids, I'm a high school coach, and we had workouts at the school, and they like, we couldn't get here. I didn't have a ride, and I'm like, what? No. We get a bike, or not to be here. And hearing you say that, it's like it brings back memories to me, and I'm pretty sure the Sharp is like, wherever it was a game at, we gonna make it.
Wherever.
I mean, we'll sneak on back of the bus. Remember that?
Right.
We was walking. Right. We got caught. We was walking, but if we get home, we good.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's how I used to work on my handle. Walking to the games, keeping the ball in my left hand, dribbling the ball.
What? Yeah.
You made the best of it.
Yeah, you made the best of it.
It was time to go. It was you loose. You ready to go? And it's check it up. It's go time.
Absolutely, man.
Especially when the playgrounds was packed and it was 5-6 winners deep. Man, you was out there playing like it was the finals.
Mo, tell us who's the best guard you ever faced? Like you've been all over the country. Like who's the best guard? Like just
all over the world.
Yeah. That's what I meant to say.
That's a tough one. I'm just gonna say one thing though. Playing against the guards in Philly prepared me for anybody else.
Facts, don't it?
Like, I used to like I said in them summers when I used to get up early, I used to play against Will Chavis, Raj Bookenborough, Craig Wise, Marv Stinson, Fred Ward, Jared Curse. Them games up there, up down 34th down in West Philly, like they prepared me for anything.
That's crazy.
I'm gonna say the toughest person, the toughest guard that I played against. I'm gonna say Shaman Williams.
Nice. I know you're talking about. Played for North Carolina.
Yeah. Man, he was tough, man.
Yeah, he was tough. And it's interesting.
Back then everybody was just only going left, step off going left. He was step off going right.
He was giving you everything.
Yeah, he was tough. He was tough.
You know what's interesting to hear you say that about like down the bottom like West Philly guards, but then coming up like in that same era playing like Germantown Y, playing against Jonathan Haynes, Hot Rod, Raj Brinkley, Snoop Graham, Al Williams, like going up against those guys. I mean, I would be overseas talking to my agent. He like, yo, I already got workouts set up. Go down there with Rod. This one I knew about the Germantown. I heard about it over there. When I was a young boy, they was like, when I was first coming back over the waters, he was like, I already got somewhere set up where you can go. And that's where, around some, it's a gladiators. I mean, it's almost like, Philly's that boxing town. We approach basketball the same way. It's like a gladiator sport, man. You gotta show and prove every time you step on the court. Antoine Brockington, I ain't even mention him.
Yeah, Antoine Brockington. When I first started hooping, the first game I ever played, I was up Woody from 27th in Indiana, right. And the old heads came and got me. They like, yo, we playing this money league. If you win, it's a I don't know the pot is like $500. It's like we win, you give me $50. So back in the day, you
shoot. You know what you can do with $50?
Right, back in the day.
And they was like, all we need you to do is guard Hot Rod. That's what they like. All we need. They was petrified of Hot Rod.
They threw you out there.
They threw me out there into the woods.
Right,
so,
right.
Like I said, playing against Hot Rod, Ayo, Black.
Right. It was crazy.
Like playing against all them guys, like
it was crazy.
You know what's so funny?
That's hard.
That's why so many pros came out of that era too.
Mm-hmm. That's why, if you think about basketball today, these kids don't do that.
Right.
Like I'm with them all the time. They do not. The names that you name, they're not all in the same gym playing against each other like that, like we used to be.
Right.
Working out, getting a good workout, competing, and that's what it was.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're not doing that.
Right.
They're not coming to, and it's funny, brother, that's what I'm trying to get back to and create, but that's what, like I said, it made you who you was. Now, mind you, you didn't play organized until you was 11th, 12th grade.
Right.
But playing against them guys, that was the best teaching you can ever get.
Right.
Those are some legendary point guards right there.
Right.
4 years in college, pro guys that you played against all the time, constantly.
Right.
So, that elevated to where you was today. And that's why, like you just said, Sharp, so many guys became pros back then.
Right.
Versus how it is now.
Right.
You can just look at the numbers. How is it now?
Right.
I mean, everybody you named was a pro.
Right.
Pro.
Yeah. Right.
Think about that. Everybody you named was a pro, played pro ball at one point in their career.
Facts.
Versus now, when you think about how many pros come out of Philly, you know what I mean, in the era that we're in now. So something, not even to get off topic, but we got to try to get the essence of that back.
Right.
You're a perfect example. I mean, we all are a perfect example of that.
Right.
We was all the same.
Right.
That was before the internet and all that. You would get a phone call on your house phone. Yeah, you like, yo, we're having them down West Philly. We're having them down South Philly. We going down there.
Mm-hmm.
So we taking our car down there. We going against Rab, the Myers.
Right.
Like, yo, it was
everywhere. It was everywhere.
Somebody said, yo, they down South Philly playing. We down there.
It was everywhere, man. And in the era,
it was comfortable.
Yeah.
It was comfortable.
And I was
because it was about basketball.
And you know,
basketball helped you say.
It's interesting to segue because I was talking to your old coach, Nardi, Coach L, and he was talking about how back then, like athletes such as ourselves, or of that type of pedigree, as you could say, they were like protected by the hood. Like we had a certain, it was a certain code. Like you could go in any hood and it wasn't about nothing. Like, oh no, he played ball. Like everybody kind of looked out to you. They knew your name, they knew your face, kind of. And he was saying like it seems like it's different now. Like whereas it's that code is not the same.
The basketball, and I'm gonna let Reese say this. Basketball was your trans pad,
right?
Protector. Go anywhere, man. Like I realize when I think about things that's going on now in these neighborhoods and stuff, I was like, yo, I was in West Philly playing ball. And I think about these streets that I was playing at, you know what I mean?
Right.
I was in every neighborhood in the city. I was in Southwest, South King Pleasant. I was in South Philly. I was in North Philly. I was up Whittier.
Right. Everywhere.
I was up Germantown. We played everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, like the people, like you go out South Philly, the hoopers out South Philly gonna look out for you because they ain't gonna come down there. Something happened to you while you down there.
Right.
And it was vice versa.
It was a code.
And everybody at the playground seen who was playing, so they're like, oh, he come down, so he got to pass. He played with Rab, or he got to pass. He up there with Joe and them.
Right.
So it was all love back then.
All right.
Nowadays, they shooting up playgrounds.
Man, listen.
You know what?
Listen, I had one young boy go down the bottom, got shot 11 times. One of my young boys, like, I'm like, wow. It's no code.
Yeah,
you know what, Sharp, as we're saying, I think also we had a level of respect. Like it never got to where we was talking disrespectful to anybody in the neighborhood.
Facts.
We just kept it that. I mean, we had a level of respect for each other. You might have talked a little bit, you know what I mean, whatever.
Right.
And it would never escalate. These guys, like you said, Sharp, the last time when we spoke on here about how guys start arguing and went another level, another level, and another level.
Right.
We never did that.
Never.
And that's how it was. So that respect level was there, and that's what was given to you coming from out of their neighborhood.
Right.
We showed that respect. We're not gonna be down here saying we busting your ass. You know what I mean?
Right.
Doing this because everybody don't understand it. Because mind you, everybody ain't playing ball. Some dudes is watching.
Right.
And if you down in their neighborhood kicking, saying stuff like that, they will respond a certain way, not knowing that we know each other.
Yeah.
So, but nowadays they can't do that.
Like you said, we already knew it was a protocol. It was a protocol.
Yeah, exactly.
So
some days are long gone.
Long gone. So I mean, listen. We came up in a beautiful era, fellas, but I don't like to get into sometimes I don't like to get into that comparing eras because I don't want to disconnect from the young boys and say, all right, we better than y'all, whatever, or we above y'all, whatever, because we need to still reach back and try to teach them our ways, and it has to be passed on from generation to generation. That's part of the reason why we're doing this podcast, to pass on drop those seeds.
Real heat maker. Real heat maker.
Well, it used to be that, athletes used to get a free pass. Going from neighborhood to neighborhood. If they knew that you were an athlete, you got a free pass.
That's true.
But that's no longer the case because of the expansion of the league. When I played basketball, I think it was 14 teams. What was it, 70 now? Or
Yeah.
Whatever. So anyway, when those 14 teams played, a lot of people knew just about all the players. Throughout the city, you could, like I said, walk from one neighborhood to the next, and you'd be surprised the people who knew who you were. But that's changed now. That's changed. You're just like anybody else. But one of the things that I always try to do is, keep the young men active. I wanted to try to have as much time with them as I possibly could. So after they got out of school, even before that, when they came to school in the morning, I used to have them report to me. So they had to sign in the morning, so I knew they were there. In the afternoon, before we went into the gym, we had study period. Give them an opportunity to do their homework and do assignments and those things before we went into the gym. So I always thought about the more time they were with you, the less time they were out in the street, and which would cut down, the incidences of them being in contact with some of those folks that didn't care anything about them.